Duskwood has spent her evening battling orcs and collecting books. And those books will be hauled on back towards the Forge of Wonders. Tales for Valzane, or more books for the librarian. The city has been active, however, and so she'll need to be cautious upon leaving it. With her cold still dragging her down, let us hope that telekinetic strength carries her through. Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome back to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, No Hope, where Dusk has a ways to go, but it's not all that far. Especially if we can get out to this open field, we should be relatively safe. Around here, around this car dealership though, things have been pretty active, so we want to move with a little bit of caution as we go through here. But because there's been so much noise going on, for the most part, we should theoretically be okay. We are seeing a zombie child somewhere though, and I think we were seeing it down by that light source to the southwest. That would make sense if there was something there, something that could illuminate the night, like a shocker, for example. And oh boy, we're seeing many dead up into the northeast now. So let's just stay on the other side of the road, because that incandescent husk really is just drawing so much attention towards it. And looks like Dusk has drawn a little bit of attention towards herself. So let's go push that zombie away from us. We have another zombie to push away from us. We are going to be a little bit slower while hauling this bin, but we're still fast enough to get away from many of the shambling dead. So far, so good, Dusk. And what do we have here? A giant fly. We're not going to bother trying to smash that right now because, well, there's still lots of trouble around here. But I think we're right on the outskirts of the town now. This seems to be the very, very edge of it. So I think we are out of the woods, so to speak. Coughing heavily, we're going to turn on our safe mode, and we should be able to make that journey back without too much trouble. Let's just try and set a path here and see what that wants us to do. A little dangerous, but let's see how that goes for us. Wonderful news, we have indeed made it back in one piece. Although, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of trouble getting this around here. There we go. We got it done in the end. Okay, we'll close that door up behind us here. Now, what we're probably going to try and do is just grab a few books out of here and see if we can just pass those along to Valzane. It looks like we can actually grab nearly all of those, so we'll just ignore that there. We've got these adventure novels. So, Valzane, let's have a chat here. And claim that we have some stories of Valzane. Okay, so it doesn't work that way. We can try and trade, and we can see how much the books will sell for here. And if it's not for much, then we'll go and talk to the librarian. Okay, so we're getting cents for this, 38 cents. I mean, obviously, we have many books, and it's not even the ones that are in our inventory. So we have access to all the ones that are, well, in our little bin here as well. So that's good to know. We can probably put those other books in there for now. So yes, let's just go drop those back there. Friendly, humane fashion. We probably want to have a little bit of a flick through that just to see if that is something that we want to hold on to at all. It's mostly about making, faux fur things. And I doubt we're going to be doing too much of that, but I think it's still worth us digitizing a book whenever we find it. So let's use our tablet PC. We're going to store a book, and I suppose we haven't stored these books here because generally I feel like it disappears when we have. So we're going to spend, well, just a little over an hour trying to digitize all of those. Okay, so first things first, let's go and stop concentrating on our strength. We don't need to move things fast around here. Also, okay, oh boy. You feel, a surge of euphoria as flame engulfs the forge worker. So yeah, a forge worker seemingly stepped into lava, and because Dusk is now a pyromaniac, yeah, she enjoyed that. Oh boy, okay, that's fine. Let's not linger upon that thought for too long. Where did it die? Over here though. Interesting. I'm intrigued to find out if it dropped anything wherever this forge worker died. It could have also been over here. There's blood splatter there. Yeah, let's just have a look around and see if we can spot any remains. No, not from what I can see. Okay, all right. let's have a chat with you and see what we can do, eh? So, trading and going down to the books here. Drumroll, please. And oh yes, look at this. This is much better. Now, what we need to watch out for here, we need to make sure that there's actually enough denarii here for us to make the trade worthwhile, because there is a possibility that it's not going to be. We've sold back a lot of the things to the librarian. So really what we want to try and do then, I think, is just select all of these. So we want to try and get around about $400 worth of these denarii, which it's not a massive amount. And I honestly don't think we're going to have to trade that many of our books here to be able to get that. 27 tragedy novels. And we can see that, yeah, they are selling at a good unit price. That will leave us with a positive amount. So what we could do here is just hit F1, and then we're selling the amount of books necessary for us to get this to work out for us. So that'll give us the denarii we need. Fantastic. Is there anything else that we could trade here that would make it worthwhile? And I guess the thing is, does the credit transfer? Because if it does, then that's fantastic. I don't think it does though, unfortunately. So $5.24. All right, let's head in the direction towards Valzane, or alternatively, we could also check in over here with Helen. Yes, Helen, let's see. We shall trade, and let's have a look at those prices. Oh, okay, the prices here are great as well. Actually, they're even better, quite possibly. Okay, well that's really good news. So I hope, well I mean for one, they do have things that we could potentially want, like a cavalry saber, or these small mana crystals. I mean obviously they're not going to sell anything that they're wearing currently, but let's just have a little bit of a look through here. I mean dragon scales, that's cool and all. We may be able to trade those to Valzane and kind of get a good exchange of credit. We can see that the credit doesn't transfer over. That's fine. Denarii. Okay, good. So we can get quite a bit from here. There are obviously potions here as well that could be quite useful. Done. But yeah, beyond the cavalry saber, there isn't much else that we can purchase there. However, we'll go through here. We will sell these books. We will. Oh, it doesn't look like we get anything for those. I mean, we still might as well trade them. Sure. And we're not necessarily looking for a credit here, but a little bit is fine. I suppose we could have a look at the +1 cavalry saber. The cut is good. It has rapid strikes. It has the high blocking ability parry as well. And if we were to make this diamond coated using that CNC machine back at the lab, I think we could have a pretty dangerous weapon on our hands. It's pretty quick to attack. Ooh, tempting. Tempting. It's made of Kevlar and tempered carbon steel. I think for now, we will just accept this deal and just be okay with that for now. We do also have our friend in here, Mary. There was one other thing that we could ask her about, and I think we are going to try that. You know what? Just to be careful beforehand, we are going to chuck in a quick save just in case it completely breaks the game. But we're going to ask Mary if there are any wizard towers nearby, because that's something that we didn't ask. So we're looking for a man-made structure, and specifically, let's have a look for a wizard tower. Seems like an eccentric wizard once lived here. Not that there are any other kinds of wizards, am I right? But don't tell Valzane I said so. But you know it's true. Anyways, I'll mark the building on your map for 1 denarii. It's a deal. And unable to find and assign the mission target. That is fair. So I think if we have a look at our missions and look at the wizard tower, yes, it does not have a location associated with it. So it was unable to place it down. So in addition of there being a magical academy at the refugee center, there more than likely will be a wizard tower there as well. So further confirmation that that is the place that we need to be. Okay, and I was just thinking about the Forgeborn, or the Forge worker bodies. There probably aren't any if they fell into lava. They're gone. Okay, so let's head to Valzane and let's see what we might be able to purchase with what we've got so far, because I definitely have my eye on one of the books that Valzane has. We do have $45 of credit here, so let's select all those denarii. That gives us 869, which is pretty decent. And I do think it's probably still worth us keeping the books here. We could also trade them to the librarian and then hope that if we do find another Forge of Wonders that the credit transfers over, because it's like, it's meant to be the same person. It would make sense if the credit transferred over, but you know what, maybe it doesn't. Weapons. Okay, alright, so having a look at these weapons down here as well. The katana, pretty nice, pretty nice. Let's have a look at you. So compared to that cavalry saber, it is going to be doing more cut damage. It still has the +2 to hit. It's a little bit slower, but yeah, it's a very good weapon. If we're looking at polearms, then Naginata is a fantastic tool as well. It can make reach attacks. It can also strike in a wide arc. The thing that we need to keep in mind is stamina use as well. So the cost is about 1.2 stamina to swing, whereas the katana is only 1, so it's not that much more to be swinging around the Naginata. If we were to have a look at a halberd though, we can see that there is a lot more stamina that goes into that. You're using 2% of your stamina for each swing. But in saying that, the potential damage output is very, very big here. It can also make reach attacks, wide strikes, it's got the sweeping attack, it's got a medium blocking ability, which I don't know if the Naginata did. Oh no, it does. I think the difference with that, the halberd, is the sweeping attack, so to knock them down. Oh my gosh, the heavy sledgehammer is, it really is something. But then again, looking at this and looking at what it's capable of, theoretically, our stormhammer could be just as good, if not better, down the line. And I've always been one to kind of look at the typical damage per second and kind of go off of that. But sometimes if you can take something out in a single strike, it is that much better. I do think that the katana kind of sits at a good place between all of these things. The iron shod quarterstaff, though, also sits in a really, really good place here. 32 bash with a +3 to hit. It has rapid strikes, it has a sweeping attack, and it is a high blocking ability. Looking at this quarterstaff here, I would find it really difficult to say no to this, purely just because of how well it strikes things. That +3 bonus can make a really big difference. For me, I think it's kind of between the quarterstaff and the katana at this stage. And the thing is, the katana could potentially become more deadly if we run it through the CNC machine. It is expensive, however, so let's carry on to some of the other things that we want to get, and then we maybe come back to this. Obviously, the rings, everything else like that, are going to be far too expensive for us to afford. So, there are the scrolls. We have Holy Blade, which could potentially do more than what that katana or anything else could do. And of course, we do have the book that we read and digitized about making a mithril sword, which could, be even better. I certainly have my eye on Holy Blade and Ogre's Strength here. However, Ogre's Strength is a Magus spell. We don't know if we want to go for Magus just yet, but here, Wizarding Guide to Backpacking, that's the one that we most certainly want. Pain Split for Biomancer will be really, really useful. The Aura of Protection doesn't seem to have any school associated with it. Air Bubble we already have access to, but yeah, we've got Jar of Force and Phase Door that are also Magus spells. I know it might seem like it's not worth it if we're just going for something like Pain Split, but that really can make a difference. So I think it is going to be worthwhile us doing that. And so that leaves us with 178 credit to go. So we're going to pick up Holy Blade. I don't know if we're going to pick up Ogre's Strength, but can you imagine if Ogre's Strength and then our telekinetic strength stack on top of each other? They probably do. The thing though is that Ogre's Strength, it probably continues on. It's not broken by combat. That could still very well be worth it. With 20 credit left over, that's all that we'd be able to get. But I'd say that that's all that we would want to get. There really isn't anything else in terms of manuals that we can get from Valzane at this stage. So yeah, I think that's what we go for. We accept the deal, just like that. Now those books, well, we still have many. I'm willing to take a little bit of a gamble here and trade some of those books for something much more expensive like the Dragon Scales. even if we're losing a fair amount here, being able to sell these books, which, hey, we didn't pay anything for, will add up to more in the future. So let's just come over here for a moment and digitize those new books that we've just gained access to. Well, I say books, scrolls. The Scroll of Holy Blade, Ogre's Strength, and The Wizarding Guide to Backpacking. 32 minutes and 30 seconds. And there we go. We've finished scanning those books into our device, just wanting to check in on our bandages here. And our right arm looks like it could do with a little bit of extra, but it's okay for now. We're lacking sleep. We're actually dead tired now at this stage. Even though we've been sleeping okay, the cold is really, really running its course. It is actually 4:30 in the morning though, so I suppose, yeah, we probably do need to sleep soon. But yes, before we do, we're going to make sure that we try and see if we can sell off those books for something else here. Helen, okay. The burlap plates here sell for 649. That's a bit of a gamble. We could start with something like the pearls instead, just because we wouldn't be risking as much. I guess the same could be said for, dragon scales and things like that. But yeah, no, I think for now, let's give those pearls a try. So we just want to trade for one of those at the moment, and we'll trade as many books as we need. Which we don't actually have that many of them left, so... Well, I say that. No, we've got like 29 there, so that's a considerable amount. Let's just settle that there. Yep, looks like a good trade. Fantastic. Now, back down to Valzane. Oh, and the bullet pills here sell for 250. 250. Okay, that's not a valid option. I mean, trading it back, we get a little bit back, but not a huge amount. I think we're just going to take a little bit of a gamble here. We're going to get a load of credit with the librarian here. Actually, you know what? Yes, no, the librarian, because they're more likely to restock books. Even though they sell a little bit less than selling to the pirates, we're going to see exactly how much credit we can stack up here. A considerable amount. Good. The most I'm willing to owe you is 100. Well then, I guess we'll just have to leave our books here for now then. We're certainly in no condition to move on from this location yet. And I suppose it would make sense for us to see if there are other forges around. If we can find them along the way, that could very well help us. Mary, let's see. Okay, we just talked to Mary about if there is another forge, and now she's told us that there is only one Forge of Wonders. It's not like this is a multi-dimensional franchise opportunity, which completely goes against what we were told last time we spoke to her. So, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's true at all. Are we talking to the same Mary? As much as I would want to ask about a Exodi location, we don't really know about them yet, other than that pod. So, for now, never mind. Dusk doesn't know enough to ask, and so we're going to hold off of that. Damn, sucks to leave all those books here. But we really can't trade them for all that much. Even if we were to trade them to Valzane, we'd be able to get maybe like 50, which does feel like a bit of a waste. You know what? Screw it. I think we're going to trade, at the very least, for this cavalry saber here. I'm happy with that. We've got it in our hands now. Practically free. As for all of our books, I suppose for the moment, they will just be staying here. And unfortunately, in this area, we are yet to find any means to magically teleport back here easily. I think for the moment, we are going to have to rest, and have a decent rest at that. Perhaps the Magicalism cabin once again, as I don't think it's going to be long before the sun is with us. Oh, let's not attack that. It's a Graken Forge Master? Well, okay, interesting. Okay, Dusk, let's get to that cabin, eh? And it's a lot brighter by the time we have arrived here. Yep, the first little bit of light has reached us. Okay, so let's see what we want to try and do here. Oh, both doors have been completely destroyed. Of course they have. Of course they have. All right, so we're going to grab one of these and just put it in there like so. Unfortunately, we are still going to be coughing up an absolute storm, but What can you do? We can eat at the very least, can't we? So let's make sure that we get those calories up as much as we possibly can. Drink some of that water back as well. Ooh, and we've got some rain outside. We also have some rotten buttered popcorn. Oh, which we actually left behind here. That makes sense. Well, Dusk, let's call it there. Get some damn sleep. Well, good afternoon. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Our arm has nearly healed. We probably can just leave it as it is for now, with the bandage that it's got on there. We do still have some daylight outside, so I think we're probably going to use that, reading up on these new spells that we've got. So first of all, we fall asleep again, because we are still tired, even though we've slept so much. It's that damn cold, I tell you. Let's have some energy cola. There we go. Ready, rearing to go. So we still actually have these scrolls on us. Let's see. Holy Blade we can just learn. Shouldn't take us too long, hopefully. Oh, and Dusk was thinking about how nice fires are, so perhaps we should actually light one. We do have the opportunity to do so here, and it wouldn't take us that long to do it. We just need a little bit of something to get the fire going. We've got a duffel bag in here, we've got a body. Let's just go haul them on over, chuck them into the fire, and start a fire. You light a fire, but it isn't enough. You need to light more. Okay, well, we'll come back to it in a little bit because no doubt it will go out before too long. In here, though, we are going to start listening to our MP3 player, I think just to try and keep our mood up a little bit. And let's just go prone. Let's lay down on the bed here. We've just learned Mage Blade. Let's have a look and see what we can do with Mage Blade. We don't actually need a blade. It lasts for 4 minutes and 2 seconds. This blade of light will cut through any evil that it makes contact with. So we have to keep in mind that the higher the level, the better it is going to be. I still haven't really seen any benefit from Mage Armor yet. Who knows, there could be some down the line. Mage Blade, though, it's going to take us a little while to try and cast that. Still, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to keep on going. There is a small percentage chance that we can succeed at that. So, yeah, we're going to keep on going. Oh, there we go. Okay, it was like the third casting or something like that, and we managed to get it. Mage Blade. Okay, so it's got Brutal Strike. Fantastic. That's cool. So we can knock back creatures with it. Has Rapid Strike, has a high blocking ability as well. +2 bonus. I mean, it's good. We can see that the DPS isn't fantastic. It glows, it's shiny, so it's probably going to produce a little bit of light. Its edge is sharper, the more spell level and intelligence that you have. So we'll just need to spend some more time reading about our Mage Blade. Now, delving back into the books here, Ogre's Strength, and I suppose, well, some of the other things that we have in the Wizarding Guide we need to have a look at. So, Aura of Protection. We didn't see a class associated with it. Also, Phase Door teleports you to a short distance in a random direction. Oh, okay, yeah. So what is the opposite of Magus going to be? Yeah, it is truly classless, Aura of Protection. Is that going to be better than Mage Armor? Maybe. Can you use them in conjunction with each other? Possibly. Encases your whole body in a magical aura that protects you from the environment. So rain, potentially heat, and also maybe even radiation. So let's study that for a while. Okay, and we have learnt Aura of Protection, and it's much later in the day already, so I think we're probably just going to be staying here, taking our time, eating some food, getting some calories up, and falling asleep before it gets too late. But now, Aura of Protection. Okay, it lasts for 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's see if we can successfully cast that. Indeed we can. And so if we have a look at Integrated, we should, theoretically, have an aura. Or not. But apparently, we successfully cast it, so let's have a look and see if we have it as an effect here. Doesn't look like we do. Okay, well that's interesting. We have also been sweating a lot, so let's maybe try and do something about that. And oh yeah, like everything is warm. We don't need to have all of our extra equipment on right now, so we're just going to go through this and take off everything that is going to be too warm. There we go, that's a bit better. Not too much better yet, seemingly. So I'm going to try and see if we can cast this again. Oh, hands-free. There we go. Okay, we managed to successfully cast it then. Yet, I'm still... Oh, here it is. Okay, It's not integrated and it's not purple, which a lot of the things usually are, and so that's why I wasn't seeing it. So yeah, it covers everything. It gives us acid and environmental protection. Well, that's cool. And yeah, you can actually wear it. Good to know. Yeah, it doesn't give us any kind of fire protection, which I was kind of hoping. A little bit of acid protection. Obviously, that will get better over time as we level up that spell. Wow, we don't have a lot of mana left, do we? No. So I guess that kind of leaves us with Magus now, and whether or not it is something that we want to learn. We haven't learned Air Bubble yet, but we can. Let's start with Phase Door. Actually, we do have Fire Spark here as well. Summons a small electric spark that doesn't harm anything. You can use it to ignite something flammable. That sounds like a fun one for us to have, especially with Dusk being a pyromaniac now. Yeah, we'll study that and then we'll make the Magus decision. And we briefly fell asleep then. No surprises. Cell phone, time to light you up. Let's close that curtain now and let's continue. And there we have it. Fire Spark. We know it now. And you know what? I suppose we could actually just hang out here by the fire as well, but it would mean we'd need to try and keep it lit over a long period of time, and that can take a lot of things that we don't want to use currently. Let's just go haul that body on over, and let's see if we can successfully cast Fire Spark. Hey, there we go. And is it just in our hands? Stable Spark. Start a fire quickly. There we go. Okay, cool. And so that just kind of stays in our hands. As we can see, it's not going to last all that long. It gives us 46 turns, so that'll run out pretty quickly. But that's fun. Now, if we're wanting to put off the Magus decision a little bit longer, there is one more spell that we can learn in here, Pain Split, which I do think is going to be worthwhile us learning. However, I'm going to wait until the morning for us to do that because I really want to make sure that Dusk actually gets some proper sleep. So with that, we'll make sure that we are going to be warm enough. I suppose if we move all of our clothes on over here, we can use them for warmth if we need them. We're just going to have some more smoked meat before we finally have some good rest. Oh, of course, just as soon as we turn off the MP3 player. Well, okay, we've had an interesting night's rest. As Dusk awakens, there have been two changes to her form over the evening. First one, most notably, is her face. Before, her face was slightly elongated outwards in the form of a snout. That snout has now become a lupine muzzle. Now, remember, Dusk doesn't have fur there. Her jaw and nose have extended out into a wolfish muzzle, which, as we can see, lends itself to biting in combat and looks impressive, but prevents wearing mouth gear. And it's not the only change. For a while, she has had a stubby tail. That is gone now. That is now changed into a raptor tail. Formed from a network of interlocking bones, a long tail has mutated from the base of your spine, with ossified tendons assisting in keeping the limb stiff and rigid. A plume of lengthy feathers sprout from the reptilian flesh along your new tail, drawing the eye. While it is useless in combat and prevents you from wearing non-fabric pants, you will find it's pretty handy for maintaining your balance. Interesting that it's not useful in combat, but the additional balance may actually help us when it comes to dodging. Yeah, our dodging is 10.9 right now, but that's also because we have less of our gear on currently. And so, Dusk being Dusk, those feathers are also going to be a stark white. Yeah, it's an interesting looking form. A chimera, for certain, but werewolfish. Also, Luna, eat your heart out. So, wow, okay. We're greeting the new day. Let's go eat those smoked meats. We are going through them, and we'll drink the water that we have left there. We maybe overdid it just a little bit there. We can use our gluttonous consumption to help with that though. There we go. We're feeling nice and satisfied now. Well, we have some more reading to do, don't we? Now, it is Pain Split. There we go. Wonderful. Now, one other thing that is unfortunate about the lupine muzzle is that we cannot wear anything over our mouth. So that means gas masks, most importantly. So what I'm hoping is that Air Bubble here, this spell that we can learn, the Storm Shaper Bubble, will help us because it's kind of like over our entire head. Well, you know we're going to learn it. Excellent. And we have coughing all the while that we do. So now we have 2 spells that we can try and see if we can master. Air bubble we are going to start with here. Okay, and we got it right away. So, is it actually working? I mean, we can see items worn, air bubble. It is covering our head. Look at that fire protection. That's decent. We can now breathe underwater like a fish. Fantastic. And we actually have another thing that can kind of change how we move underneath the water as well. So, all very, very useful things. We may be moving in the water in the future. Next up, Pain Split. Let's see if we can successfully cast it. 60% chance of failure. We'll have to give it a few shots. There we go. Your injuries even out. I mean, we're not going to see anything from that now, but if our head or our torso was extremely damaged, we could split that damage across the rest of our body, giving us a really decent chance at continued survival. It does take quite a bit of mana to do that though. Whew. Okay, now, back into the book, we need to make a choice. We're going to start to flick through Magus, and we're going to see what its opposing force is. And here we go. Magus, a tradition as old as magic. The Magus focuses on binding and shaping the energy of the universe to their will. It will lock us out of animist. The animist tradition is a relatively new school of magical thought, formed through the combination of many older ways that focus on harmony and connection to the natural world. This does not mean that animists are passive. The natural world is a savage place. As much as I would want to follow the Magus tradition here, animist, I believe, will bring Dusk closer to her goal of restoring her brother to life. I don't think this is a choice that she can make yet. No. And so for that reason, she won't. And that does lock out some pretty interesting spells, but at least we're not really missing out on too much just yet. I mean, Jar of Force can store liquids, and Phase Door is a random teleportation, so yeah, not missing out on too much there. But you know what? While we're here, we're going to have a look at our stored books, and namely our stored scrolls, because I want to make sure that we haven't missed anything here. Limbs of the Frog, yes, that was the one that I was thinking of. And of course, Ogre's Strength is something that we would be missing out on. Okay, but Limbs of the Frog, that is a Biomancer ability. And while it might be something that we don't necessarily need right this second, who knows when you might need to turn into a frog, right? And just like that, we have learned Limbs of the Frog. Lasts for 20 minutes, growing webs, grow webbing on your hands and feet, making quick swimming a breeze. 200 mana for us to successfully cast it. Let's give it a shot. Okay, and we get it right away, which I'm assuming means that it's going to last for longer in the future. Yeah, 24 minutes. Not bad. So how is it affecting us right now? We got frog limbs. Your hands and feet have grown webbing. It doesn't seem to negatively impact us, so that's fun. Great, that's really good. Now, I am very tempted for us to just stay here for the day and just continue reading through some of the scrolls, figuring out which spells specifically we want to try and increase. Windrunning, I think, is going to be super important because it's a movement ability for us that can help us a lot going forwards. If we can get that to max level, I'd be super happy. I also do think that Windstrike could be quite good as an area of effect spell. It's doing what Wave of Force is doing for us, but it might be able to lift things that we can't. Yeah, I think for the moment, to begin with, Windrunning is what we're going to focus on here. Oh, you know what? Actually, we do have 2 other Storm Shaper spells that we can pick up here. Shipwrecker and Cloak of Fog, which, yeah, we're going to learn them. Well, that is Cloak of Fog learned, but we're also dead tired now. Sleeping is probably going to be the best bet. But we're going to want to make sure that we get some nice clean water before then. And you know what? We're out. We're out right now. Energy coal is all we've got, and that's not going to be great. Ooh, boomer close by, but not super close right now. We're just going to see if we can duck around to the hot water here, and there is nothing in there. All right, well, there is a pond. Let's go grab that real quick, huh? And we do want to make this quick. That skeletal zombie has unfortunately seen us. We're going to go pour that into our hydration pack. Has it seen us? I mean, it kind of has. Alright, you going to be a problem, skeletal zombie? I think you are. Well, we're dead tired. Let's make this quick if we can. The sun is also hurting our skin, so we're going to go and shove it back against the wall here. And follow that up with a mind hammer for 40 damage, and as it runs back towards us, we'll hit it once again, slamming it into that wall. And I feel like that should just about do it. Let's clamber back on over the fence here, get back inside, hopefully not get noticed by that boomer, and we'll use a purification tablet on our hydration pack. There we go. Nice, fresh, clean water. Let's get some more sleep, Dusk. Okay, and we wake up just before 1 a.m. We've had our customary breakfast of smoked meat and clean water, and we're going to be activating our tablet PC to continue reading here. Now working on Shipwrecker. That is another spell successfully learnt, and now this list is getting long. And of course, some of these are going to be quite difficult for us to cast, but really not all that bad. A crushing shockwave that shatters everything in its path, and that sounds great. It's a 30-degree arc, and it does 30 sonic damage. Love to see that. So there's 2 spells that we are going to need to practice here to see if we can actually cast them. And we're gonna do that outside. for safety's sake, we're certainly gonna do that outside. So heading out. There is fog in the air, so there's a chance that we might actually be a little bit more powerful while that fog is there. And there's going to be more fog, because we are going to be casting Cloak of Fog. And hey, okay, we got that. And it's just, it's all around. That's super, super useful. And whoa, that goes, seriously. Oh no, it's following. Okay, I understand. It follows me, right? That's what's happening here. The fog begins to dissipate. I'm assuming that's what was happening. Otherwise, it was a massive bank of fog that we were in, which is also possible. Yeah, not 100% sure on that. Okay, well, next up, we're going to move a little bit further away, because this could be loud. And let's also just see how it works against like a building here. So, Shipwrecker, 30-degree arc, range 2. Okay. Alright, it's kind of heading out in this direction here. We fail. Okay, let's try again. Oh yeah, there we go. That was successful. Unfortunately, it didn't shatter the windows there, but I guess it's a little bit weaker. We do hear an explosion though, so that's noisy. And we can see it last a little bit longer now. And it does a little bit more damage. Good. Okay. So now, because we are still tired, I think I'm going to want us to try and go to sleep again. We haven't been awake for long at all, but we kind of need to just have this cold process as much as we can. So we could potentially take something to assist with sleep. We do have some melatonin. Okay, so we'll take that. That should help us ease into a gentler sleep. We're going to have some smoked meat before we do go to sleep. We need to keep those calories up. And you know what? We'll probably have some forest honey to go along with that as well. Probably don't want to have that right before we go to sleep, but you know, here we are. As Dusk's eyes open, her entire body feels like it is bursting with energy to burn. And that's because we don't have a cold anymore. That's not the only thing. We had another mutation during the evening here. Dusk's colorful skin has shifted away, and now we have a new mutation in its place. Hair suit. Your body here is growing thicker than it used to. It's almost like you're going through a second puberty or something. So, while there isn't fur, she's probably going to be a bit warmer than normal, which I think is probably why we have so much warmth right now. We still have mana luminance on top of that, which takes any unusable mana and turns it into light and heat. And speaking of that, our mana is actually higher right now. Our intelligence is 15 currently, and I don't know if that's because of other things that we're taking here. No, I just think we're finally over our cold. We're finally through it. We are still tired, mind you. So we're probably going to still spend the day here, kind of taking it easy, trying to read through our books a little more, but my gosh, I'm happy. The cold is finally through. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to get the MP3 player going, playing some music. And like I said, now we're going to start working on windrunning, finally. And that didn't take us all that long to learn a level there. The chance of us succeeding in it goes up, and the duration goes up with it. I think what might be worthwhile though is trying to bring them up across the board. So thinking about what our bread and butter are going to be in terms of spells. And I would say that Stormfist would 100% be up there, but I'm just a little concerned with how we've been performing in unarmed combat lately. Actually, you know what? Shocking Dash is something that I would really like to get up, because that's nearly a teleport. And right now, well, it's difficulty 0. And there we have it. Level 2 in Shocking Dash. Very low chance it will fail, and we can see the range is 3. So each time this goes up, we'll be able to dash further. I've kind of been going back and forth between Stormfist, between Mageblade, and Stormhammer. Stormhammer is certainly the easiest of these to cast, but I feel like what fits Dusk best is still Stormfist, even if it hasn't been performing as well as I would like it to yet. I think we could maybe get it there. So we're going to put some more effort into that, and we have a level in Stormfist now. Taking us to level 2, failure chance is far lower, and no doubt it will be doing better in terms of damage. It's still relatively early, even though we are tired. I think I'm going to push through, try and get another level. The good thing about Dusk is that she is a fast reader now with her mutation, so it doesn't take her anywhere near as long. Although, I mean, it is 10 now, so we probably will be calling it there, but only a 22% chance of failure now. I think we're going to cast this and see what that looks like for us. So, it lasts for 900 turns now. We are actually wielding it, which there is the option to wear it as well. Having a look at that damage there, I mean, it's still only a bash of 6, but it's 0.5 stamina per swing with the thing. Can't use Tai Chi, but we can use Brawling. You know what? I think we should try this thing out. Okay, 930 turns, that's pretty good. Heading out into the night, we are lit up by it. I'm just going to have a look at wearing it as well. I mean, it still is lit up at the moment we put it on. We want to wield it. Let's have it out for now. Turn around, strike them. I mean, we stabbed it and bit that then. But yeah, let's see what else we can find in the way of zombies. We'll turn on our light here just so that we're having a good look around the town. Oh, a flesh raptor, something that is notoriously difficult to hit. I think we'll have a hard time, or not. Okay, the flesh raptor retracts its stinger, because I guess it was going to try and turn and run, but yeah, that was a wicked bite that Dusk managed to get off then. Very good. Okay, we've got a zombie dog that's making its way on over now. All right, I mean, we seem to be striking okay at the moment with Stormfist, seemingly. I mean, I don't know if we're really seeing it hit because all of our other things here are going off. You hit the zombie but do no damage. So that's the interesting one that I've seen pop up before. I'm surprised that we would do no damage at all as Dusk, but I mean, these things can happen. Alright, let's have a look. We haven't explored this part of the town yet, so there's still a strong chance that we're going to have some kind of dead presence up and around this region here. And there's the Zapper. Okay, so we'll see how we fare there. Okay, we fake a strike there. Managed to stab it, delivering a wicked bite. The criticals, again, doing what they do best. Now, where's that Zapper? Okay, you're still in there, alright. Looks like we've got a zombie child to deal with first. And again, it's the bites, it's the horns that does the real damage there. You know what? Let's just go wear this and see how this kind of works out for us here. Alright. There we go, stab, and we managed to trip that one there. Okay, so we seem to be doing trips and, yeah, headbutts more when we don't actually have the thing in our hand. Kicked it for 23 damage then, managed to trip that one, okay. I'm also just looking to see if we can see any shocking effects going off for our attacks at the moment. Because, yeah, right now, it is just our fists that we are using. Damn, okay. Yeah, let's just go back to wielding it again now. Yeah, I'm purely just trying to figure out what is going to be better for us. Because we were fighting pretty good then when we were just wearing it, not wielding it. Oh, and we got ourselves a Devourer. All right, you're going to be a good test. Okay, managed to stab you there. Lots of stabs. We did manage to hit it for 6 damage there, faking a strike. Okay, again, not that bad. The thing is, when we're wielding it like this, we can't use our Tai Chi. We can't use any other kind of fighting style. Oh my gosh, Betty? You're alive. That's the plot twist that I was not expecting. We've found this frickin' dinosaur, and we can actually attach a leash to Betty now. Because, oh boy, okay. Well, I was not anticipating that at all. Okay, yeah, but she's still just as, I don't want to say useless, but I guess she's an early warning system, right? Because that boomer went straight for her then. Yeah. Hey, a Daenerys. Thank you. Oh, great. Okay, we're covered here. Let's use some saline solution. Clear our eyes. Betty, you can stick with. She does actually seem to see better than us in the dark because, I mean, she stops whenever the dead are approaching. Okay, few good strikes here. Good stab. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if wearing it is better or not. Wearing it, we can see the protection that it offers, which is pretty good. The telekinetic, the light, the sonic protection, the electric protection specifically is really decent. I think the thing is like Stormhammer and Mageblade, they're so much more straightforward because it's like we know that you're going to be wielding it no matter what. And I know in the past when we've had like bladed fist weapons, you do wield them. It's just strange that it's giving us the option to actually wear it and get protective stats from it. That's what makes me think that it's meant to be worn. But at the same time, you can cast spells with it in your hand. Stormfist, you are an enigma. I mean, apparently our casting time is impeded on some things. Like if we were to cast Windrunning or try to cast Windrunning, we're having a much harder time. And I think, oh yeah, that's our focus. Our focus is super, super low at the moment. Well, okay. Got ourselves a listener over here. Let's go ahead and strike you a few times. Nice. And I suppose we could also, just do a little test here. Wear our Stormfist and then call Stormhammer. Too difficult right now? Yeah, our focus is terrible, but I know how we can improve that. If we just go on inside here and do a little bit of this, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We happily light a fire. I mean, that's helping. We're listening to music right now. We've got Betty here. We should theoretically be in a good mood, but we're not so much. Our focus is down by a lot. I guess it's just our sleepiness that's kind of driving things down here. Okay, well, we will need to sleep. And I suppose it would be worthwhile doing that before we were to make decisions. All right, let's do what we need to do there. Oh, well, that's a change. After killing so many bloody zombie children, you no longer care about their deaths anymore. Yeah, and there's been a lot, not only in this world, but in other worlds as well for Dusk. Okay, well, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a nap somewhere. I don't know if this lab is going to be a safe place to do that exactly, but it's not the worst spot that we could be trying to have a nice rest in. Betty, it no doubt is going to be downstairs somewhere. Let's turn off that MP3 player. We've just got the light of Stormfist that's on at the moment. We are going to go and wear our earplugs though, and we are going to try and get some sleep. And good morning, Dusk. Smoked meat and water, how wonderful. Now her focus is much better this morning, so we are going to trial out the hammer once again. Oh, and we might have a good thing to trial it out against. There is a Kevlar brute to the south? Yup, that much is true. It's outside there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do first of all. We are going to get a few added bonuses here. Electrical discharge, and then we are going to go for our voltaic strikes. Then on top of that, we are going to go and call Stormhammer. and will fail that first time. But there we go. On the second attempt there, we are now wielding Stormhammer with a bash of 30, a +2 bonus 2 hit. That's really nice, and we can use Brawling with this as well. Oh, and we actually gained a new level in Voltaic Strikes back there as well, so that's nice. I would love if we could actually catch our breath back though before we go into a fight. Let's see. Okay, so making our way outside, we have a regular zombie here who is going to be facing us first. All right, okay, and that was the horns and a sweep that did that then. Okay, oh, ideally we don't fight the brute and the cop at the same time, so let's see if we can split them up, maybe utilizing this car here to do that. Okay, we need to keep in mind that we're also in the sun, so we're going to be getting some extra pain there. I mean, the bash is going to be fantastic against, heavily armored creatures. Not bad. Okay, we managed to sweep it for 7. You can see even our horns aren't doing that much. 4 damage, it's downed, it's zapped, it's got shattered armor, a few other good strikes here. We're doing small amounts, but we are getting through. We managed to send that reeling backwards then. Okay, a little bit of an explosion there as some of our electricity arcs away from Dusk. She was thrown back then, but as it gets closer, she brings the Kevlar brute down. So I think instead of thinking of Stormhammer and Stormfist as something that we need to make a choice between, perhaps we can use them in various different situations. Like when we're fighting regular zombies, bladed weapons and things like that are going to be great. But the thing is, we are still biting. We are still stabbing with our horns, even when we're using Stormhammer. So maybe we are going to be hammering more often. And the thing is as well, it works as a casting tool for us as well. And okay, we got a miracle lurker coming for us at the same time here. So our powers will be a little screwy. The hunter killer zombie is a little scary, okay, but that's good. We managed to sweep it then. It's got shattered armor, and Dusk just absolutely annihilated the thing here. Look at this strange looking thing. Okay, wow. One wicked bite was enough to take down that miracle lurker there. Yeah. And it seems like there's still quite a few other dead things lingering in the area here. The pupating zombies, not so good. I'd like to try and see if we can kill those if possible. We've still got a few more turns on our Stormhammer here. It's just nice to be able to test some of these things out. And okay, that might be a little bit more than I was wanting to test things on. It just leaped on over towards us then. Okay, let's see if we can maybe knock it down first to give us a little bit of an advantage here. Okay, it's downed. A decent strike there. Some good damage. We managed to batter it. Okay, it's no longer down, but it's zapped. Oh boy, that is that's a powerful creature. Okay, our army pants are pretty much completely destroyed there. So that's something that we are most certainly going to have to try and see if we can fix. Hulking horrors, yeah. We don't want to mess around with these things. Okay, so as it gets closer again, we are going to... we're unable to use our other powers on it. That's not great. But she manages to kill it with a wicked bite. Dusk, well done. Okay, we've got technicians up there still, Bireless soldier zombies. We don't want any of that. So Dusk is going to make an escape. Or at the very least, she's going to try to. With that Stormhammer in her hands, it certainly makes her feel powerful. Changes, as ever, are taking place in the DNA of Dusk. More positive changes, thankfully. But there's always the possibility that that downward spiral can occur. For now, I think that she's got all that she's going to gain from this location, other than perhaps those big goblin encampments. But so far, they don't seem to be bothering Valzane all that much. So perhaps the choice to move on is the choice that Dusk needs to make. But she's going to have to keep up with her studies. Not all hours of the day can be used for travel. She will need to improve her abilities, as they will help keep her alive. In the next Legionnaires, the Odyssey will continue. And for now, I'd like to thank you all for joining me for yet another episode of Cataclysm. If you enjoyed the study session that was today's episode, please consider leaving a comment or a like to let me know if you enjoyed the show. As for now, I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time. stay tuned.